In our previous video, we talked about string concatenation, and it was really important. We have also talked about casting in Python. When you want to convert one data type to another, it was really important to understand as well. So now we are going to talk about something cooler. But before doing this, I have some notes for the last video. Okay, we have talked about implicit concatenation and explicit concatenation. It's okay. I recommend using explicit concatenation because this just limits us when we want to work with variables. For example, you couldn't do this with implicit concatenation. So try to stick with the explicit one where you use plus operator to concatenate strings. All right. So we have also talked about string repetition. It was really easy. We just use multiplication operator and it will just multiply our string, as how many times we want to see it. Okay, that was cool as well. But when it comes to working with numeric values, we have something different, which is str, because we are trying to concatenate strings, not integers. And here IAM is a string, name is a string, and all of them are strings, but age was an integer, and we just needed to convert it to string. And to do that, we just need to use string, a keyword. So, and we also can use this casting logic with other data types as well. And I hope you just played around and understand the logic thoroughly. Everything is cool, but we have something cooler, as I mentioned. So let us first define some problems, then get into this video's topic. So here we have our, previous example, which is my name is name and I am 8 years old and name is Bob and our age is 25 in string. That's okay. But when we have more and more strings, it's just getting complicated. And using this plus operator for every string in every concatenation just makes our code unreadable. And we just want a better way to do this. And if you are learning Python, it's really easy to do that. And I'm going to mention format function in Python programming language. So I'm going to type the same thing again. So let's say print, my name is Bob and I am 25 years old. All right. So it's all right. But here, instead of using, plus operator to concatenate my strings, I will use format function. And how can we use that? So I will just delete this and I will do something like this. Format. Okay. And in this format function, I will have my variables that I want to put into my string. For example, here format, I will say name, and the other one is age. Then I will just close parentheses, and this is for the print parentheses, for this parentheses, okay? So everything looks okay, but how can these variables be represented in my string? And to be able to do that, instead of using this name Bob and this age, I'm just going to use these curly parentheses. And here, the first parameter of format function will get into this. And the other parameter is going into this curly parentheses. So when I just print this out, it will give me something like that. My name is what we have here, the name, and the name is Bob. And I am what we have here, it's age, which is 25, okay, 25 years old. So here you might have a question, we didn't convert this age to string because we don't need it. Because when you look at it, it's already in a string. So you can use str function to convert it, but it doesn't matter. Whether you use it or not, you will get the same result without any error. Okay, because it's in a string. And when you just put this variable age into this curly parentheses, it means that it's in the string. So it's already converted into a string from an integer. Okay. And in Python, we have something cooler, and it has just adapted to language after Python 3.6. I also talk about it, which is fstring. And it's really easy to understand as well. So here I'm going to say print, let's say, okay, my name is Bob and I am 25 years old. Okay, so here, instead of using format function, we have something called fstring, and it is more readable and understandable for others as well. What we are going to do, we are going to delete these age and name, and we want to use a variable for them, right? And to be able to do this, we will use curly parentheses again, but instead of using format function and put our variables into that function, we'll use these variables into curly parentheses directly. So we'll just do something like this: name and age. When we do that, it will automatically print out our result. But this is something called f-string. And if you want to point out that this is a f-string, we need to use f before our string, okay, which is also very important. So I hope this made sense. Now I'm gonna have some coding on PyCharm and you will have a thorough understanding on it. So let's say string formatting, and we have this name and age as our variables. So instead of using that concatenation, we could do something like this: print my name is, for example, I will use curly braces here, and I am 25 years old. Instead of doing this, I will use curly braces again, years old. Now, after my string is closed with quotes, I will just use dot format function, and I will use my variables in this function, which is name and age. So this is important. And here our name is placed for this first curly parenthesis, and the age is placed for this one. Okay, so when I want to print this out, let's say run this. Okay, my name is Bob and I'm 25 years old. If I change this to John, for example, and Control F5, my name is John and I am 25 years old. So we could also do something like this with this format function. This is represented as the 0 place, and this is represented as the place 1. So for example, we could do something like this. If you put 0 here and 1 here, 0 stands for name and 1 stands for age, we should able to get the same result as well. So let's see it. So it's John and I'm 25 years old. So what if I put 1 here and 0 here? So let's see it. My name is 25 and I am John years old, because we changed their places. And you could also do something like that. You could use the same variable in both curly braces and you will get something like this. All right. So my name is 25 and I'm 25 years old because we used age here. This is, you can think of this, index 0 and this is index 1. All right. So we also have something called f-string, which is much more better. And let's say my name is Bob and 25 years old. Okay. So let's just delete this, 25 years old. So here, instead of using these strings, we could use these curly braces and we can put our variables into these curly braces. For example, here it will be name and here it will be age. So, and this looks much more better. And here we have something very important to understand. So let's say, okay, we should put our f before our quotes, but since we use these variable names in our curly braces, PyCharm just put this f automatically before our quotes, okay? But if you are using another editor, you can just put it before your quotes, and and Python can understand that this is an f string. I hope it makes sense. So this is very important, and we are going to be using string formatting in our programs. So try to do some other examples on your own. Of course, in upcoming videos, I will have a lot of examples, but now I'm trying to give you the logic, how you can get familiar with Python syntax and Python rules and Python functions. When you understand this, you won't have a lot of trouble in upcoming videos. So that's gonna do it for this video. I will see you in the next one.